What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back another video on the channel, and today we took it to the dad, Papa John's. It has been a while. They haven't come out with anything, and I do eat it a lot. But when I looked on the menu, I just got back from the movies. There's my thing. There was no memorabilia for today, so we ain't got none. But Papa John's has their extra large New Yorker style pizza, which most places have, but they brought it back, $12.99. I always find those like $12 pizzas to be a better deal in the franchise genre. Also got an order of the hot lemon pepper boneless wings, which I guess they just started coming apart in the ride, but that's what we got for today. We're going to talk a little about Indiana Jones, and we're going to try this pizza out. I'm not going to hold y'all. The movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It is late at night. I'm exhausted, so probably won't be a long video. Just going to talk a little about the movie, try this pizza out, and see what's good. Drop a thumbs up. You guys already know we put videos out every single day, and I'm not going to break the streak just because I'm tired, because I like it, and I like y'all. So let's get into this video. First, we have the extra large New Yorker pizza. It is a one topping, extra large New York style. I say that in quotes because it is not New York style. It's not. They just mean big ass pizza, I'm gonna be honest with you. But usually these pizzas are pretty good. I don't think there's anything special about it, so it shouldn't be a bad pizza, but Papa John's open until 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the main reason why I did it. I ain't gonna much lie to y'all. Here we go. Got the well done bake. Got a good copious amounts of pepperoni. Let's tuck that bad boy under. I'm not editing. One take, one take, one take. I'm tired. There we go. Pop this open. The tamper seal won't even all right. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm not, one to complain and stuff like that. And I know people have to have a life, but there's a guy who runs the Papa John's where I'm at, right? And he's so good every time, bro. I always talk about how great my Papa John's is. I realize very much that is him. It's the dude that runs the place, and he doesn't work on Thursdays. And every time I go on Thursdays, there's this other guy here, and he screws up my order expeditiously, religiously, whatever words you want to say. So how did my order get screwed up today? This happened last time, by the way. I ordered about 4 or 5 different sauces. I didn't get one of them. Now, normally they put the sauces inside the box, and since there's a tamper seal, I can't check. But the last time I went, it was the same guy, and I didn't want to bug him, because last time I got a little, I was like, it said my pizza was ready 10 minutes ago. I just been standing here, is it ready? And I don't like being annoying like that at stores, but this time something just felt a little off, and it was him. So I didn't give him no hard time. I didn't ask for my sauces. I assumed they were in the box, got home, ain't no damn sauces. But because I have Papa John's so much, I do have spicy garlic sauce left over. But I wanted the Doritos Cool Ranch sauce. I didn't want the Papa D, I just wanted the sauce. I also wanted their pizza sauce. Ain't got it. It is what it is, man, but I felt like I had to just throw that out there. So I always have to be honest about things like that. The next time I see my other dude, bro, I'm gonna have to tell him, listen, I'm not trying to snitch. I'm just like, yo, you can't not work no more. You can't. You gotta work. I feel bad because people are people. Why does this look like an actual chicken drumstick? It's not. It's the boneless. Hot lemon pepper, I do like those. Got the ranch. I don't really like their ranch, but I don't care right now. Let's try this extra large pizza. Like I said before, well done bake, which it's still gonna have a flop because it's Papa John's, but you can see how the crust looks on this. The crust is thin, and it's a much bigger pizza. It's an extra large, and they give you a ton of pepperoni. Nice though. So I got it well done. There's oil on this. Look, you see that? And even their well done to me isn't well done enough for a personal preference, but it makes it at least good for me. Crust is good on this too. Like I said before, it's about a New York, as Montana. If this is New York, it's New York City in Montana. Or maybe Manhattan, Kansas, which is actually real. Shout out to Little Apple. It's where Kansas State is how I know that. But it's still a respectable pizza. I like Papa John's pizza. Some people think their sauce is too sweet, and I hear you. It is a little bit of a sweeter sauce. But I don't mind that. Got a little bit of that spicy garlic butter, which is superior in my opinion. That's different. This is what really makes Papa John's really good for me. I love their spicy garlic butter. I am a simple person when it comes to franchise pizzas. Usually I get extra sauce and cheese, but I didn't want to get it on this because I knew it was going to flop all over the place if I did. Because it's a super thin crust. If you get a extra sauce and cheese, it's got to be a pan. Or you can get away with a regular, but preferably a pan. My man need to go work again, bro. This is hitting right now. Is this pizza worth it? Franchise pizzas? Yes, 100% in my opinion. Like I said before, the reason is because it's an extra large pizza. and it's $12. If you go on any other day and just try to order an extra large pizza, they charge you like $20 for that. And for me, this ain't no $20 type of pizza. Like, come on now. But for $12, it's like 1:30 a.m. I ain't mad at this. And you can see at this Papa John's how well they take care of you, because my man lined the pepperoni up. I can see the concentric circles on here. He just never gets my order right. But I advise y'all to come to my Papa John's. It's the best one that I've had, and I've eaten at like probably 15 of them in my life. It's the most clean, best run, and I think it would change your mind about Papa John's. Said this before, franchises matter with pizza places. Matters. If you're at a good location, your food might bang. If you got a bad location, they overcook your food, they get your order wrong, they don't get your stuff like cooked properly, you know what I'm saying? Or like, it just certain things about certain places. I live within them, like, there are 2 Burger Kings within 2 miles of my house. One is terrible, the other one is good. Truth. Anyway. Pizza's worth it. Again, it's not a great pizza. From a franchise pizza place standpoint, even from that standpoint, it's still a good pizza. There's nothing different about this, just bigger and has more pepperoni. But make sure you get it well done. And if you need something in a pinch, you really can't go wrong for $12. For all those reasons I just had, from a franchise pizza place point, I would give this an 8 out of 10. I still love it. Also got us a Sprite. I think I got grape. This is grape. Always make sure I refill mine before I dip up out of there. Then we got the boneless buff, because there was like $5. I just threw it on there. Whole thing was $17. Like, for me, a whole pizza and some wings for $17, bro, I'm happy with that. I never be mad at that. But got the boneless buff. I'm not really a boneless buff person, but I didn't really care today. They ain't even sauce the other side. Ain't that a bit? They need to get more sauce on here, bro. Come on now. How come my man ain't working? My man ain't working. They ain't sauce on. It's alright. Like, I'm still finna eat it. But normally it's saucy. It ain't saucy today. I don't like my man's not working, bro. But I said this, man. Like, he's a human being, bro. He gotta take days off. He can't be there every day just in case I call. You know what I'm saying? I'm not weird like that. You know, I get the human element. Like, I hope, you know, he might have a family, probably home, relaxing for once, bro, because he's always there. I've been going to that Papa John's for like 3 or 4 years, and my man, he was there every single time. It ain't matter. It could be 8 o'clock p.m. It could be 4 in the afternoon, noon, 1 a.m. I've walked in there, stumbling around my friends. Always there. So, you earned your rest, my man. I respect it. Make sure to give me my sauces next time. As far as these go, I just like spicy lemon pepper anything. I use lemon pepper on a daily basis. The nuggets themselves are just like little funny nuggets. Like, ain't nothing crazy. But their lemon pepper, if I'm nitpicking, it's a little salty. And it doesn't come from the buffalo. It comes from the lemon pepper. Because I've gotten their buffalo sauce by itself. Because it comes from a package. I know what it tastes like. It's the lemon pepper. They use a cheaper blend. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm critiquing it. It's what it is, man. It's what I do. They use like a this is wild, bro. I don't even want to eat this. I'm gonna eat it though. But whatever blend they're using, it's a cheap version. And when you buy cheap lemon pepper, it's very salty because they use a filler. They don't want to give you like anything else. Just a little nugget. If you go, because I don't spend a lot of money on seasonings neither, unless I like certain seasonings, but like lemon pepper, if you go to the dollar store or Walmart and you pick up like the cheaper versions, ain't nothing wrong with that, but try to get one when you turn it around that the first thing on it is not salt, because that's what that tastes like. Like, it's just like, you can tell there's not a lot of pepper or lemon in there. It's mostly salt, and a lot of cheaper seasoning blends are just going to throw salt in there because they don't really care. You know, they just try and use stuff to stretch it out. So that's why it costs 99 cents for one of them. But just a little heads up, those boneless buff are like mid in general, but I like hot lemon pepper, so I'll still give it a 6 out of 10. Let's talk Indiana Jones real quick. Now, I'm not old enough to have watched the old Indiana Jones when they came out. I believe those were like all in the 80s, but I did grow up with the movies in my house, and I've always been a big fan of Indiana Jones. If you are a fan of Indiana Jones, I think you'll enjoy this movie. If you have no idea what or who Indiana Jones is, which if you're part of the younger generation, you don't, I'm not necessarily think that these kind of movies don't really play like they used to. You know what I mean? Like, they don't make movies like this. I'm not saying that's a bad or good thing. It's just a sign of the times. So, it always follows the same formula, and it didn't stray from that. Without giving away spoilers, 9 times out of 10 in Indiana Jones, they're Nazis. I believe there are 5 films at this point. Temple of Doom didn't have Nazis. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't have Nazis, but the rest have. It didn't stray from that. There's always an opening action sequence, which is pretty cool. They de-aged Harrison Ford for this, and to be quite honest, it's one of the better de-aging that I've seen. Compared to The Flash, which de-aging was like horrendously bad, the de-aging technology in this, it looks pretty good. You know Harrison Ford is 80 years old, so you know it's not him. But if you didn't, you might actually think it was him. They did have to CGI some of the fight sequences because my man's 80 years old, bro. And some of those you can tell. So keep that in mind. But it's much better than like we saw with The Flash. There's always an action sequence. Kind of gives you a backstory on whatever artifact, because there's always an artifact. They didn't stray from that. Then it goes into the movie. There's a bad guy who, like I said, is usually a Nazi. And there's Indiana Jones and maybe a sidekick of some sort. And they go after stuff to find the stuff that finds the stuff. They're always looking for a clue to find another clue to find another clue to find another clue that eventually leads them to their final destination. There's a final confrontation in the final third of the movie, which usually involves some sort of puzzle solving that can result in death if he does it wrong. It's all the same. It's what it is, right? So don't expect anything different from that. So, because I believe it's been like 40 years since, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark was what, like 80? I know somebody in the comments, Raiders of the Lost Ark was actually, it's somewhere around 1980. Can you please not be that bet your fun at parties type of person? It's 2 a.m. and I don't care right now. I only got one person, bro. No, actually, shut up. Just let me talk. It's not important to what we're trying to talk about. Anyway, because of that, most of the people when I went into the crowd were all older. You know, I saw some 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds in there, and that's pretty cool, and I think a lot of people, it was fun for that purpose. Like, you got to see Indiana Jones again. And it was kind of weird walking out of theater realizing, like, yo, I just watched Indiana Jones in 2023. Like, really with Harrison Ford, too. So, that part was cool. The rest of it is kind of the same. If you like it, you won't be, it didn't stray from any of that. So, that to me is a pro and a con. But still, overall, the movie was fun. Now to go on to the cons. Funny enough, most of the pros are also cons. The CGI was a bit obvious, like I said at times. You know, but Harrison Ford is 80. He's 80 years old. Like, he's literally 80 years old, on the dot. So, can't really hold that against him. You know that's got to happen. And the other things for me, I know I say this every time, but can we please stop making 3-hour movies? It did not have to be 3 hours. There's so much filler in these movies. Like, so much. That, like, you don't have to have a 3-hour movie to make a good movie to me. And you could have gotten the same thing done in 2. I just, you could have taken so much stuff out of there, because a lot of it's just like nothing. That's just my opinion. So I won't go into that, because I talk about that every single time. Also, I did forget to say this. They did have a little bit of cameos. To me, that was the right amount of fan service. It wasn't anything that was integral to the plot, but there are some cameos in there of, if you're a fan of the series, of people that you'll recognize, and it didn't overdo it. You know, a lot of these movies are overdoing the fan service. It didn't rely on fan service to tell the story. It just made a couple of cameos that were nicely done, in my opinion. So, bravo to them for that. I know fan service is all the rage these days to keep remaking stuff that we all kind of either grew up with or have known from when we were younger. So, I will give them that. The other con is, again, like a pro, like I said, because they didn't deviate from anything. It's the same movie. And the problem with Indiana Jones, in my opinion, is that the first one was so good, so iconic, so important, as far as, like, movie goes. It's one of Spielberg's best films, in my opinion. Like, believe it or not. Steven Spielberg, for people who don't know. I just didn't assume anything, but they tried to recreate that 4 more times, and it still just hasn't landed. It just doesn't feel the same. It's impossible to recapture that. They tried to go with a different tone with Temple of Doom, but other than like that, it's pretty much always the same thing. For better or worse, it's kind of boring, but still like fun. Next time, just don't make my fun 3 hours. My recommendation for this is if you are a fan of Indiana Jones and you just want to see another Indiana Jones experience, I will go to the movies and watch it. But other than that, it's good. It's not great. Only because it's the same damn movie over and over again. But I still think it's an enjoyable movie for me because I'm a fan of Indiana Jones. I like history. There's a lot of historical references in it, in all of them. Some really cool locations and sets. There's a lot more car chases in this movie because Harrison Ford is 80. So he doesn't do as much fighting. They do have some references in the movie that kind of let you know, like, he's 80. They didn't turn him into Vin Diesel, so he's not superhuman. He acts every bit of an 80-year-old in this movie. But shout out to Harrison Ford, man. Han Solo, Indiana Jones. Super iconic characters from my childhood that I got to watch on DVD. And kind of, like, it's still cool to see him still working till this day. But if you haven't ever seen Indiana Jones, you might want to check it out, but just don't expect anything too crazy. That's just my opinion. So I usually rate movies out of 5 stars. It's being a little biased when I say this, but I would still give it 3 stars. Raiders of the Lost Ark is a 5-star movie to me. The other ones are all between 3 and 4 stars. They're pretty much the same. But the last thing I'd say before we get out of here is these movies, in my opinion, they need to stop doing these freaking, like, extending series and stuff like that. Like, you have to just let something go. Just let it go. And I used to watch the trilogy. So Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and The Last Crusade. And The Last Crusade ends with Indiana Jones, with his father, who's played by the late Sean Connery, riding off into the sunset. And it was like a perfect ending. Like, he you know, that was it. He had his last crusade. He kind of rode off into the sunset, and that be that. And then they keep bringing him back. And I just feel like that send-off, he deserved that send-off to be such an iconic character, and he didn't get it. They just keep trying to milk things to sell tickets, and you're selling the same thing over and over again. And it's just getting to the point now. They did it with Jurassic Park. They did it with Terminator. They've done it with so many iconic movies that it's just kind of annoying at this point. That, like, they're putting out either the same or mediocre versions of film, and they're ruining, in my opinion, like, legacies. I know it sounds like too much, but I love movies. They're ruining legacies of movies by doing this. Harrison Ford is 80 years old. He didn't have to do this. He did his job. It was done. And they brought him back to hang out with Shia LaBeouf. That was the last one before this, by the way. So that's just my feelings on it, man. I know people like that kind of stuff, but it's almost like you can go into the MCU, in my opinion. Sometimes less is more. Terminator and Terminator 2 were great movies, and it should have stopped. That was it. The story was perfect. The ending was perfect. They prevented Judgment Day. It was done. And they kept bringing it back. And there's a lot of movies like that. Jurassic Park, I said already, but that was another one where the first one was so good, you didn't have to do all that other stuff. You didn't have to. So sometimes you just need to let it go. Like, sometimes it's okay to make a great movie, and then that's it. And the last thing I'm going to say before we get out, I said it twice, but because it keeps driving me places. The Dark Knight trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of any kind. Especially in the comic book genre, but just any kind. And one of the things that I respect about that movie, they ended it, and they haven't walked back since. Christian Bale supposedly was supposed to play Batman in The Flash, and he didn't do it. Like, that was the perfect ending, and done. That's it. Not bringing him back, not coming back 10 years from now, making it just, that's it. You want to go watch the movie, go watch that one. That's just how I feel about it. But that's the perfect example of what it should be. I mean, a great movie. They could have made more of those. It would have went crazy. People would have bought it. People would have went to see it, of course. But they ended it the right way. They had a trilogy. There was an arc. There was a redemption. There was an ending. There was a send-off. Shit. Sometimes just do that. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. Let's get back to that. Indiana Jones in 2023, bro. She's older than me. Okay, I'm done. A little too much passion. But overall, I still love Indiana Jones. So, of course, I spent my money. But don't spend yours unless you're, like, passionate about it. Anyway, that's going to end the video. It's late as hell. And I got to edit this. So, I'll be back. Not really edit. Render. Got to render. I'll be back tomorrow. More content. I love y'all. The hand signs. They made it to YouTube.